It's time to get rid of the monster truck look on the Type R, so we're doing that with this nice set of HKS Hipermax Coilovers. Welcome to the channel, everybody. My name is JP with Edge Autosport.com, where you can find stuff like this for your Civic Type R and many other cars. 10th gen, 11th gen stuff is what we specialize in, so make sure you hit up our website, edgeautosport.com, to find all the mods you'll ever need to make it exactly what you want. But today we have a set of HKS Hipermax S coilovers going on our own project FK8 Civic Type R. We recently put wheels on it, the Anki GTC02s. They're 18 by 9.5. And what that does when the car comes with 20s is it creates quite a wheel gap. We need to lower it. Now you can use lowering springs. That'll get the job done for sure. It'll close up that gap a little bit, but we do care about a little bit more adjustability and a little bit more, going even lower than maybe just a lowering spring can do. So that's why we're doing the coilovers. This is a complete replacement of the entire suspension system completely. Now HKS also makes a Hipermax R, which is more for track duty. The features are slightly different. On the R, they have a slightly different style of spring, and they come with different internal oil to kind of mitigate heat development inside there. So it's more of a track setup, but realistically, you could take this to the track too. Easy, no problem. Like a track day, 10 laps, 15 lap session, like no problem with these. It's kind of like a take your pick. The S's are probably going to be better for street cars. So for most of you, the S's are probably the better application. It's going to be a little bit better ride while still maintaining all that adjustability. So both HKS Hipermax kits that are available come with the upper mounts, which are going to give you a very, very solid pillow ball spherical style bearing at the top. It's all steel. So as opposed to stock that has kind of some rubber and some flex in it, this is going to be a very direct feel to the driver. It's going to be a lot more rigid, so you can beat it up at the track a lot more. It's just, overall, it's just a higher quality setup. You can also adjust the camber on it. Now, adjusting the camber is important for a really kind of like an aggressive performance setup for the track or performance alignment. You can use it for that, but it's also, the upper mounts being adjustable is also useful for really aggressive, wide tire and wheel setups that are not only pushing out towards the fender, but also pushing in towards the shock. If it goes too close to the shock, obviously the tire is going to rub on the spring as it turns. So if that's a problem for you, that's also what these are useful for, is just kind of taking the shock a little bit away from the tire so that it doesn't hit. Now, obviously you want to make sure that the camber adjustment or the camber settings are still what you want them to be. It is going to change the geometry a little bit, but that's okay. I mean, it just gives you extra flexibility for how you need the car to be set up. It's going to come with adjustability of dampening right here on the bottom for both the front and the back. Just single click adjustments right here. So you're heading to the track, get out of your car or get the car out, adjust it to a little bit stiffer setting wherever you like it at the track. You're heading home, adjust it to a softer setting so that it's a little bit more comfortable on the street. Or you can just kind of set it and forget it in the middle or wherever you like it, wherever it's comfortable for you. And then the other thing obviously is height adjustability. You can adjust the rear and the front. Out of the box, it comes with 16 millimeters of lowering. That's where they set it from the factory at HKS. That's about 5/8 of an inch. So there's even some lowering springs out there that go lower than that out of the box. So if you want to go lower than that, you have to use the helper spring that they gave you just to keep the preload on the front shocks correct. So we're going to help you understand that because we are going to go lower than 16 millimeters as well. There's a lot more wheel gap to cover than that. One other thing to mention also is obviously the Type Rs have the electronic suspension. HKS kits for the FK8 specifically don't come with the error canceller, and we actually don't have one here, so we'll have to get that on the car later. But the FL5 kits right now are coming with the error canceller. So if you have an FL5 and you get an HKS kit, it'll come with it. If you get an FK8, you'll need to buy it additionally, which is also available on the site. So if you don't get it right away, it's not that big of a deal. you're just gonna have an error light in your dash that says, hey, there's something wrong with the suspension. It's not going to compromise the ability of the car to run. It's not gonna change the ECU settings or anything. It's not gonna go into limp mode. It's just gonna give you an error on the screen. So if you're taking it below the 16 millimeters, go ahead and take some of the pressure off of the spring using the bottom collar down here. And then you can take the upper mount off, all the components, and the spring all the way off. Take your helper spring, put it right back on, and then put the spring right back to where it was before. And then just start reassembling the top just like you took it off. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel for us to be able to help as many people as possible with these videos. Monster truck Type R no more. It's time to take the old one out. Get this thing low. Scratch that. We actually did have an error canceller for the suspension. This is an HKS unit. This is very simple. All you do is assemble this connector right here, right? And you go inside the car. And behind the seat belt, like directly behind the seat belt, there's a big plastic panel right here. This is it. We're not gonna show you guys how to get it off. It's fairly simple. You know, you kind of just ease it off, pull it off as easy as you can. You do need to take out the lower seat to get to that. There's a 10 millimeter bolt back between the back section and the bottom section of the seat on the driver's side. If you look straight through the crevice where they meet, you could see it. And then there's two tabs that you pull where the passenger side and the driver's side passengers sit, like between their legs. You pinch a couple pieces of plastic and pull it off. So there's only 3 connection points total. Those 2 plastic clips and the 10 millimeter bolt to pull the back or to pull the seat off. Then you can have access to this piece right here and pull that off. Once you're there, this part of the harness right here is plugged into this section, this box. You unplug that, plug that into the HKS unit. Take this side, the female side of the the male side of the HKS unit, plug that into the old location, and boom, you're all done. It comes with double-sided tape that you can put on the back of here, and you just want to tuck these wires as cleanly as you can. Make sure they're not rubbing on anything sharp or crazy, and just tuck this as best you can and put it back in, and your error in the dash is now gone. As you can see, we're all done with the install. I'm gonna take the car overnight, let the springs settle in. Whenever you get done with a spring or a coilover install, whenever you first set the car down on the ground, it's hardly where it'll end up. It'll usually end up settling a tiny bit lower. So I wanna let that happen before I make my final adjustments on the height. You can see we still have plenty of room here, plenty of wheel gap for easy street driving. But you can see it's already a lot lower and it looks a lot more sharp. So tomorrow we will finish up the final settings and report back on how it feels, what we think about it. Day number 2 after coilover install. Pulled it into the garage this morning and I wanna make some changes based on the handful of miles that I drove last night. It was a night and day difference. You can definitely tell the suspension's on the car. Again, we set it at 8 clicks away from the stiffest setting, which was fairly stiff for the street. In my opinion, I'm kind of an old man compared to probably some of you guys watching this video. So I want it softer than I had it, but for the track, it feels like it would be awesome. It'd be a perfect setting, but a little bit too stiff for me. And so I'm gonna set it all the way to 6 clicks from the softest. So I started at 8 clicks from the hardest. I'm gonna go 6 clicks from the softest. And that should be a big enough disparity for me to really tell the difference between a soft setting and a hard setting. I kind of just want to see where these things are and see how they feel on different settings. So that's setting number 2 change that I'll make. And then I will be adjusting the height a little bit. It did settle just a touch, you could tell. It evened out. It looked actually pretty good, but it was still about inch and a half, maybe inch and a quarter of wheel gap. So I want to bring it down a little bit more, and we're going to see what that looks like and feels like. See if there's any rubbing issues whatsoever. If there is, obviously we'll make adjustments from there too. But for right now, we're gonna lower it a little bit and we're going to make the dampening adjustments and take it back out again. All right, all adjusted. Wheels are going on. Let's go do another road test. 3rd day after the new coilovers. This is where we ended up, final settings. As you can see, the back and the front are pretty uniform, pretty even. Nice drop on both sides, or on both axles. The wheel fits in there perfectly. You know, I chose this wheel so that we could kind of do a lot with the suspension and we wouldn't have to worry about too much rubbing and we could run some different tires. So the wheels are perfect, fitment's perfect. We ended up also softening it, which I talked about. We're gonna go out on the road and test that softening. I'm gonna tell you about kind of the difference between where we started with the stiff setting and where it's at with the softer. But overall, I'm pretty happy with where it's at. Let's do a quick review out on the road so that you can kind of just get an idea of what I think about it. Out on the road with the Hipermax S coilover. So obviously we're not on a track. And we're not driving fast. We're out on the public road, which, you know, we're not on a highway either. So we're not going to do anything crazy. But, you know, from a daily driving perspective, this thing is absolutely like great. Totally reasonable, totally acceptable for daily driving, especially after we set up put it towards the soft setting. So again, we're 6 clicks away from the softest. And honestly, I'm not sure it's any stiffer than the R mode stock, which actually, I mean, it's pretty noticeable when you get into R mode on the suspension. I think it's maybe even a touch softer than that, and we can still go even softer still. And we're low and we're not rubbing on a fairly aggressive but reasonable wheel setup. So overall, I'm pretty impressed with the HKS coilovers. I've driven on it a couple days now. I've put a handful of miles on it. They feel really crisp and nice in the corners. I've taken a few kind of spirited corners. Just cruising down the road in the softer mode, you can go over some pretty good bumps without really feeling like the car gets jarred. It does not bump and bounce like some coilovers tend to do. It feels really independent and really like it reacts really, really well to the road surfaces. So I'm pretty impressed with them. I mean, I'm super happy with these. These are absolutely daily drivable. Now, one of these days we're gonna go to the track and we'll report back on how it feels at the track. I'm confident that they'll feel really good. And I'm looking forward to that day. We'll do that in the spring probably, maybe late spring next year. It's November as we're shooting this right now, so we still got a ways, and we're in Denver, so we got a full winter to go. But for now, super happy with the setup. I'm glad we put this on. Let us know what questions you guys have about settings, feel, fitment, drop, anything you want. We'll answer it, and we'd be glad to help you. But yeah, super impressed with these. Glad they're on there.